This is not a school. It is a prison, a place disguised as education, but built to erase Native children. Tiana Rainwater is one of them. One day in class, she forgets a single English word. The nun's whip cuts into her skin. She tries to answer, desperate to escape the pain, but every word only fuels more cruelty. Finally, rage takes over. Tiana's fist slams into the nun's face. For a brief moment, the classroom explodes with cheers, but defiance comes at a terrible price. These schools were never about learning. They were weapons. After seizing native lands, white settlers forced survivors into barren reservations. But even that wasn't enough. They took the children too, stripping them of their language, culture, and spirit. Tiana is dragged before the priest, showing her bleeding arm, begging for mercy. He doesn't care. To him, Native children are beasts to be broken. He spreads her across a shelf and lashes her legs until her screams echo through the halls. And still, it doesn't end. They force her into scalding baths, claiming to cleanse her soul. They humiliate her, make her scrub the very blood spilled from her back. The punishments pile up: whippings, starvation, endless labor. One day, her cousin sweeps too quickly and dust spills down the steps. The nun slaps her across the face. Tiana's rage boils over. She hurls a handful of dirt into the nun's eyes. For a moment, she wins, but vengeance is only delayed. At dinner, the girls are given bowls crawling with maggots. Tiana shouts in her native tongue. She would rather die than eat this filth. The nuns beat her savagely, lock her in a freezing box all night, then dunk her in ice water the next day. One nun even tries to violate her. Tiana cannot fight back. Her body is broken, but her spirit refuses to surrender. Later, another punishment arrives. The nuns hack off her sacred long hair. They scrape her back with steel wool until her flesh tears. They think they've broken her. Instead, they've awakened something far more dangerous. That night, Tiana rises. She smears soot across her face like war paint. She arms herself with a pillowcase stuffed with Bibles. Creeping into the nun's room, she strikes. The first blow lands with the weight of generations. She strangles the woman, whispering in her native language. This is the true tongue of this land. When the body lies still, she brands it with fire, her mark of vengeance. By morning, the priest discovers the corpse. He seizes Tiana's cousin, beating her bloody, demanding answers. The girl refuses, enduring one punishment after another, until at last she breaks, confessing that Tiana escaped. The priest sneers, certain no girl could survive 400 miles of desert and canyon. Yet the cousin's final defiance is not her silence, but her smile, as she dies under his hand. Meanwhile, Tiana runs. She hides her tracks, drinks from streams, howls back at coyotes, and survives the night atop a stone pillar. The next day, she meets Hank, a shepherd who once knew her father. He takes her in, burns her uniform, disguises her as his son, and sends his own boy, Pete, to bring word to her family. But danger is never far. Back at home, Tiana's grandmother is confronted by officers searching for her. They shove the old woman so hard she strikes her head and dies instantly. Another innocent life stolen without a second thought. When Tiana's father returns, grief hardens into fury. He buries his mother, arms himself, and sets out to find his daughter. But Pete is captured by missionaries. They drag him behind a horse, treating him like an animal. At night, they prepare to kill him, but Pete mocks them instead, calling out their hypocrisy, their blood-stained faith. Just as death looms, Tiana's father arrives. With brutal precision, he scalps one of the men in vengeance. The remaining two track down Tiana. They recognize her beneath her disguise and pounce. She fights back, blinding one with her finger, but they beat her down, ready to end her life. At the last second, Hank and Pete rush in. A shot rings out, one missionary falls. The other staggers to his feet, only to be struck down by Tiana herself, crushing his skull with a stone. But Hank is mortally wounded in the struggle. Tiana's father finally reaches her. Father and daughter embrace through tears, but they know the fight is far from over. The church will never stop hunting them. Together, they make their choice to flee their homeland, to ride south toward Wyoming, carrying both grief and hope.